Hey yo everybody, welcome back to another guide brought to you by your friend Lestion. Today we are diving into the latest Freeman menace to hit the battlefield, Irma. Grab your snacks, sit tight and let's jump straight into it. Irma is a Freeman range tank sentinel unit mainly focused on dealing damage to enemy units. She has very low attack and high HP. She's basically a poison and damage trigger machine that completely overkills enemy units. But to really understand her, let's break down her abilities. Ability 1. On spawn and before attack, applies Poison Burst 305 damage at max level to enemies except ranged ones. First of all, we need to take a close look at this new status effect. Poison Burst, in simple terms, it's an enhanced version of poison that deals damage twice at the start of enemy turn. And yes, it's exactly as broken as it sounds. This new status is counted separately from normal poison, meaning you will have 3 poison triggers per enemy affected in one turn. Crazy, right? This accelerates poison comes like crazy, like Nymeria, Cyrax, and Ophelia ones, because their stacks will go absolutely insane almost instantly. Yeah, the damage numbers might look low at first, but trust me, this is only the beginning. This ability reaches its max level at Reborn 7, and the values from Reborn 6 to Reborn 7 it's 111 poison burst damage. Since this ability can be treated as a trigger ability, the recommended value will be at Reborn 6 at least. But don't get me wrong, Reborn 7 values are not ones to be ignored. Ability 2. Enemy takes poison damage deals 200% pure damage of that poison damage to them. Another new term here, pure damage. It means any damage with damage type not specified, such as poison, infection, etc. First thing to notice is that the percentage damage value will stay at 200% for every level of Irma. Now imagine your opponent is already poisoned and have poison burst status effect also. On your opponent's turn, this ability will trigger 3 times in that enemy unit. Normal poison will trigger first, then 2 poison burst damages, and this ability will trigger in between each of them. Something like this. Normal poison damage will deal, let's say, 500 damage, just to round numbers. Then first ability 2 pure damage triggers and will deal 1000 damage. Then first poison burst damage, let's say 305 damage. Then the second ability 2 pure damage will deal 610 damage. Then the second poison burst damage will deal another 305 damage, and finally the third ability 2 pure damage will deal 610 damage. Yeah, that's a lot of damage, right? In this example, that will be 3300 total damage. And remember, normal poison and poison burst damage stacks. So this is just the initial damage value. Normally, not many units can survive this kind of damage, so this ability is basically overkill. Most of the time, you won't even get to see the third trigger, sometimes not even the second one. And yes, it also triggers some commanders when they get damaged by poison like Cyrax. Ability 3. Enemy takes pure damage from an ability, applies poison. 672 value at max level to them. As if the second ability wasn't already insane enough, every time pure damage activates, it adds even more poisonous stacks to the enemy, reaching absolutely ridiculous numbers if combined with other pure damage abilities like 16 outfit ability for example. And even by herself, this ability will stack really fast. This ability reaches its max value at Reborn 6, and funny fact, Reborn 6 level 1 value is already higher than Reborn 5 max level, even though I don't recommend stopping there cause her base HP at that level is really low. So, to sum it all up, her first ability will trigger the second one and the second one will trigger the third one. A perfect chain effect just by herself. Ability 4. Passive. Elusive. Basically, this is a bonus ability that massively increases her survivability against ranged units. It also prevents her from being countered by another elusive enemy, which makes her even dangerous. Outfit ability. On self-spawn or enemy range mercenary spawn, deals damage equal to 10% attack to 3 enemy range mercenaries. You can say that the damage is really minimum since Irma's attack is really low, but we're not looking for damage with this ability. This is basically the cherry on top for Irma, cause this ability will allow Irma to also poison ranged units. Because as we already explained, this damage is considered pure damage, and pure damage triggers poison from third ability. This skill will be a must if you want to use Irma in a non-poison squad. Honestly, a really good outfit ability that really fits her and increase the range of her combo. Combos. Best commanders for her will obviously be Cyrex, Ophidia, and Gia. But since Ophidia gets hard countered by Desiderator right now, we won't be using her too much in this meta. But meta changes really fast, so don't forget about her synergy just yet. Cyrex and Ophidia will benefit a lot from Irma's multi-poison stacks, reaching insanely high damage numbers with just a few poisoned enemies. Removing one disadvantage this comes had against opponents that negates stacks being applied by summoning multiple immune units. Now, even if they do, we can still get some stacks just with one non-immune enemy summoned. And it's probably a bug, but right now Cyrax's poison damage triggers twice with Irma. Still unsure about all the details about why it triggers though. Gia now has 4 turns of AoE poison that will be enhanced by Irma's abilities over time, and allowing Gia's second and third ability easier to trigger. Then we have all the commanders that deals pure damage with their abilities, like Elaine, Annabelle, and Morgan. Even though they don't have poison synergy, they still does in some way. Cause whenever a pure damage ability triggers, they will get poisoned if Irma is on the field, allowing new comms options that weren't considered before, like using Nymeria in a Morgan comp. You can also use Irma in a Desiree or Krysa comp. If you are using Nymeria and Shelby in a Poison plus Hell Siphon comp, Poison will trigger Nymeria's Hell Siphon and that will trigger Shelby damage to Commander. A deadly combo but requires a lot of setup. Talking about units, we have all the Poison units. Nymeria, Ravenna, Lucretia, Wendy, Ivy, and Blanche. In the current meta, best ones from this list will be Nymeria and Ivy, cause their abilities will trigger like crazy thanks to Irma. No-brainer options here. Lucretia or Blanche are also good if you already have them level up. Ravenna and Wendy, on the other hand, will be benched for now, until we see less Desiree comes. Then we have all the pure damage units. Vivian, Kiana, River, Grace, Cinta, Lyssa, Selena, Celia, Vespina, but just because of her first ability, Bloom, 16, Ginny, Nicole, Lola, Sumni, Scarlet, and others. Main reason is because of their multi-damage triggers they have. For me, the best ones and most used ones that triggers Irma's ability the most are Bloom, 16, Ginny, Lola, Cinta, Kiana, Selena, and Vivian. These units stacks poison like absolute maniacs, making it almost impossible for enemy units to survive. Scales even faster with these pure damage abilities than with the poison units, honestly. But most of the times you won't need that much damage, so having one or two of these units in your roosters are more than enough. Bonita. She adds so much resistance to your units and heals them properly to make her survive long enough for Irma to make some havoc. Although you won't be using her until Desiree get benched. Attack boosters. If you want more damage on her outfit ability, you can always use attack boosters, but honestly not really needed for that purpose. Irma has really low attack, so it's really easy to slow her down with attack reduction or attack stealing units. So you will want attack boosters to avoid this. Cleanse units. In every scenario, these antidote units are always needed to avoid your units being countered by status effects. HP boosters. Just if you want some extra HP in your already tanky Irma. Honestly, it saves you more times than I can count. Counters. First obvious and always range unit counter will be Lola. Although Lola might not be able to kill Irma by attacking her probably, she will reduce Irma's HP to almost nothing, making her an easy target to get rid of. Marcella, cause you will be triggering pure damage abilities. This will help Marcella to keep popping up her shields. Then we have all the other normal counters to completely negate their effects. That aren't ranged units, of course. Transformation units or commanders, suppression units or commanders, or to slow Irma down with immune units. Stun and attack reduction slash stealing units. Because if she can attack, she can activate her first ability after she is summoned. Resistant units because it will reduce the incoming damage. And cleanse units. But the thing with cleanse units is that Irma deals so much damage so quickly in one go before any cleanse can be activated, it doesn't really matter too much for Irma, but it will help you to stop the enemy keeps stacking and triggering poison. Best androids for her will be Akai for extra poisoning, Marion for healing and damage thanks to the high HP of Irma, and Ursula for free antidote and healing. Relationship stats. At GM League at level 20, we can see Irma will get an extra 68 attack and 358 HP. Nothing too shabby, but remember you will want to unlock her outfit. Then from level 21 to 30, we can see her first and third ability will get extra values. At level 29, her first ability gets a boost of 40 extra poison burst value, making a total of 345 max value. At level 30, her third ability gets a boost of 78 extra poison value, making a max value of 750 poison value. These values might look really low, but since both abilities stacks over time, any tiny buff will turn into high numbers really fast, so any level you can reach will be really useful for her. Comps. Cyrex comp. Irma score Nimeria, Ivy for poison, Nona for survivability, Shelby for health, Siphon and transform, Alicia for counter, Morana for obvious reasons, and one extra damage unit. It can be any that you want from the list. I choose Syntac as she will give me healing cleanse, extra damage, and also attack boost. Then we have an Ophidia comp with Irma, Nimeria, and Ivy for poison, Nona for survivability, Morana for obvious reasons, Omega, Pixie, and Vivian for a stun. The last three can be swapped by Ravenna for extra poison or any other damage units you want. And last we have an Elaine comp with Irma, Nimeria, Ivy, Nona, Morana, Nicole this time, Sky, and Tora. You can try Alicia and Shelby also instead of Nicole and Ivy. Final thoughts. If I were to set Irma into my tier list right now, she will be in the anti-meta tier, cause she literally negates all Chao's extremely high HP units in the current meta. Yes, that means she's extremely useful against Nana especially, since it's a high indirect damage that Nana won't see it coming. Besides that, Morana has become an even greater monster after the last patch. You can see her in every comp nowadays, because of the massive HP boost she provides, besides all of her utility abilities. So Irma with her extremely high damage will be an answer here. This unit does require some setup though, so, for many people, it will be seen as a non essential unit until they get her leveled up enough. But believe me, it's really worth it because it's a unit that will be still useful for a long time since her abilities are that strong. If you like poison comps, she's a no-brainer to get. She will accelerate the comp like crazy, and even if you don't play a single poison unit, but you will play pure damage units, she will be really strong. And that's it for today's video. Irma is honestly looking like an absolute menace already, and unless the devs decide to hit her with the oops will make her to a strong emergency patch, she's probably going to stay relevant for a long time. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me down below what crazy combos you are cooking with Irma, because I already know some of you are already creating war crimes in rank right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate all the support. See you next time. Bye!